So in this tutorial, we're going to learn to insert images and create hyperlinks in our document. So the first thing I'm going to do is save my file, and this will be tutorial3.html. Now I need to create my basic structure for a page. Doc type HTML with my HTML tags, my head, and my body. These should be coming really familiar to you right now. So we need to create a title. So title, this is tutorial 3. Now down in our body, this is where the action's happening today. What we need to do is we're going to add an image. So what we need to do is we need to get a picture. So I have one here, it's a picture of a house. So I'm just going to take that, I'm going to drag and drop that over into IPTO, and that will upload that image. Now to add the image is really quite simple. We have to use an Img tag. Now the Img tag, it has some attributes. One of these is the src, or the source attribute. In the source attribute, you put in the name of the file. Now you need to be really careful with the way it's spelled and capitalized. So house.png, I've matched this exactly. And then I close my image tag. Now the image tag does not have a /img closing tag, it is different. Now if I open this file in my browser, you will see my house located. Now why did I take such care in making sure that my capitalization of my file name was correct? Well, let's just change the first H to a capital H, as opposed to a lowercase h. Now if I refresh my page, my image does not appear. All I see is an image placeholder, or a broken image symbol. That is why your capitalization is very important. Now in this instance, our image was of a certain size, and the browser displays it using those exact dimensions. But what if I wanted to make my image a fixed size? What if I wanted my image to have a width of 100 pixels? Well, I can add another attribute, width equals 100 px for pixels. Now I save that, Control S, and if I refresh my page now, it shows my image, but this is only 100 pixels wide. Notice that the image has kept its proportions. It is scaled in both dimensions, even though I only set the width. In a likewise fashion, I could just put in a height attribute. Say height 200 pixels. If I reload, now the image is 200 pixels high and has been scaled by the same amount horizontally. You can put both the width and the height attributes in together. And when you do that, it will match whatever values put in. So I could have a house that's 200 pixels high and 800 pixels wide. When I refresh that image, it will stretch to fit those dimensions. There are some other attributes that we can add to our image also. One of them is the title, T-I-T-L-E. With the title attribute, when you type something into that, that will appear when you hover over it on the screen. So if I write, "This is a house," and I refresh, now when I put my mouse over it, a box pops up saying, "This is a house." There is one other attribute that we can add to our image, and that is the alt or alternative text. The alt text is useful for accessibility reasons. Now by accessibility, I mean making your website usable by people who might be visually impaired. So if someone was visually impaired and looking at your website, they could not see the images. But if they are running some type of screen reading software, it will go through and it will read the alt text to them. So if I write, this is a picture of a cartoon house, their screen reading software would say to them, image, this is a picture of a cartoon house. When I load my website up, it doesn't actually show that text, but I can make that text show up. There's another reason for the alt text. Now, if my image is missing, so I will just break my image connection. I will put a capital H so it won't show up like we did before. Now when I reload, it shows the alt text. So if your image is missing or was corrupted, at least something would show up in place of that image instead of it being missing. So that is how you add images. And that is how you adjust their parameters to set their size, give a title, or an alt text. Okay, the next thing we want to look at today is hyperlinks. So you've seen a hyperlink before. It's something that you click on and it takes you to another web page. Now a hyperlink tag is actually an A because it is an anchor tag. So A, and it has an attribute as well. This is href, the hyperlink reference. And that will equal whatever site you want to go to. So if I wanted to link to Google, I go http://www.google.com. Now if I load my page now, it doesn't show up anywhere. I can't see where to click. The reason for that is because I have not put anything between the opening and the closing tags. So if I just type in Google, then it will show up with the word Google, and it will be an active hyperlink because my pointer will turn into a hand, and if I click it, it will navigate to Google. So that is how I link to somewhere remotely. Now what if I had another file, say temp.html, and I'm just going to put this is the other page. So I've just created a really temporary HTML file. What if I wanted to link to that file? Well, I will put in another hyperlink. So I'm just going to put a line break, a BR after that. So a href equals something. The other page will be the text. Now, what's going to go in here? Well, you've got some options. If I had temp HTML and I selected it and opened in browser, I could select this entire URL and copy it and paste it in place. Now if I reloaded this page and I hit the other page, it takes me to that location. But that is a lot of text to write in, considering my file is in the same folder. So if my file is in the same folder, I don't need to type any of this at all. Just like with my house.png, because it's in the same folder, all I need to put down is the file name. And that will work also. So that is how you add a hyperlink. Now, what if I wanted my hyperlink to be something other than text? Well, you can turn images into hyperlinks. So I've got this image, so I'm just going to put that in. So now I've put this image in between the anchor tags for my hyperlink. So I refresh and then my house appears. Now when I put my mouse over it, my pointer turns into a hand, indicating it's a hyperlink. So I could click on that image, and it acts as the hyperlink and takes me to the other document. Whereas the first image, I put my mouse over it and I just get the title. I don't get a hand appearing. So that is how you can add hyperlinks to your document by using text and imagery.